Righty, ladies and gentlemen, as you're probably all aware, Lynae has been released in Wuthering Waves. And one thing that's very clear about 3.0 and the new meta that it's looking to bring is that Lynae is going to be one of the most valuable characters ever for Toon Break. But she's also going to be a unit that's launching without a lot of Toon Break synergy, because she's kind of like the only one, and then Mornier's coming out later in the patch. So, a lot of people have been asking, why is Lynae so highly rated? Why is she considered such a strong character? And that's the question that we're going to be answering today, with a lot of live gameplay and demonstrations across a wide variety of different teams. Because I've got a Lynae, I've got her built on a bunch of different sets. I've got her on her DPS
Good thing
set.
I've got time to check every box.
But then I've also got her on her more supportive Sub-DPS set. So we're gonna be testing a bunch of different teams and a bunch of different setups and a bunch of different game modes. And we'll see how it goes.
But before we begin, if you're looking to pull Lynae or her weapon and are thinking about purchasing some lunite, you'd probably like to save some cash.
LD Shop is a fantastic way of doing that, and I'll show you exactly why. LDshop.gg gives you access to huge discounts on pretty much anything you can buy in a ton of games. But let's click on WooWah for now. The monthly pass? Usually it's $5 dues, but on LD Shop it'll be much less. What a deal! To claim one of these discounts, just select the item you're looking for and click Top Up to submit your payment. You'll need your Kuro linked account email, password, and username. This might seem a bit off, but remember that LD Shop already works with sensitive account information with their emulator, LD Player, so you can trust them for their services.
They also have excellent reviews on Trustpilot.
If you created an account with Gmail or Facebook, use the directions in the top-up menu to link your account to an email. After finalizing your payment info, wait a couple of minutes and your items will be on your account. New users can get a 10% discount and an additional 5% using my sponsored link, and first-time top-up bonuses are available as well.
That means you can get some big discounts.
Spending $80 or more will net you a VIP membership, which can get you a free 30-day lunite subscription. So try LD Shop today.
So the first setups that we're going to be trying out with Lynae will of course be in the TOA, and it will be in her strongest role on release, and that will be as a sub-DPS. And so the set that I'm going to be using over here is going to be the Pact of Neon Light Leap. And what this set actually does in detail is, using an outro skill, is going to increase the attack of the incoming resonator, the recipient, by 15%. Each point of Toon Break boost they have is also going to increase their attack by 0.3%. And this is the thing. Lynae also has a Toon Break boost built into her kit that she applies to the entire team. So she has a lot of like that built-in synergy over here. You can see that 40-point Toon Break boost right there. And the end result is that she provides a lot of attack to the incoming teammate. That's not the only buff that she provides though, because she has a very, very special 4-cost echo called Hivatia. And what Hivatia does is that casting an outro skill within 15 seconds after summoning her, and she's just a summon echo, she's going to give a 10% all attribute damage bonus. So in all respects, this set is actually very similar to Moonlit Clouds, and very similar to the Impermanence Heron, which actually gives a bigger damage buff and actually grants energy, but it deals a bit less damage and you gotta kinda, actually transform into it. Plus, Moonlit Clouds is just a worse set than Pact of Neon Light Leap. This gives way more attack than Moonlit Cloud's 22.5%, but only if you're Lynae. So yeah, at a baseline, this is going to be what she looks like on her supportive set. This is going to be the main echo that we're going to be going with because we're focusing on her sub-DPS ability. So you can see over here, these are the other pieces that I have. They're pretty decent. Most would actually say that that's pretty good for day one. So that's what we're going to be using. And you can imagine this is going to be pretty high performance. I spent quite a while actually grinding these. So hopefully that will be an acceptable build for some people. Now, let's get into our first team that we're going to be using over here. And that one's going to feature, of course, a classic lineup, Shorekeeper with Zhang Li Yao. And the Zhang Li Yao that we're going to be using over here is going to have a pretty decent build. It's just going to be the 1.0 Sonata set. He's got a lot of liberation damage, a lot of attack rolls as well. Don't really need to go into the substats. This is a pretty old build. We also got ourselves, right, the Shorekeeper over here. That's what she's going to be looking like. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead. Let's give this first team a bit of a test. And the area that we're going to be testing it in is just going to be a very, very, very basic TOA floor. Floor 1, actually. And then that's what we're going to be using as a bit of a measure, just knowing that this is a bit of an older DPS. Let's see if she replaces Yinlin. Lynae is also going to be on her signature, and we'll make sure to do tests with Lynae on Static Mist, because Lynae's signature is stronger than Static Mist. All right, we're going to have to be a little bit... All right, we got that parry over there, so we're looking good. Timed that one well. And now we're going to go on to Lynae over here. Skill, And then we're gonna Liberation.
And call that my signature.
Then we're gonna charge up our thing. Do a jump. Go down. Summon. The Echo. And now we're just going to... Oh. Going to Zhangli. And what you're going to notice over here is... that meter's building up. Let's Tomb Break. Let's see Lynae's damage from off-field. A nice 90k nuke from off-field. And that's going to be one rotation.
Wow, from the soul.
So, as you can see over here, Zhangli is looking... if you've been playing the TOA and you know how much damage rotations typically do, that looks really good, right? That looked really good.
Shake it up, smart. Need a ride, sweetheart?
Variable elimination.
And there we go. Boom. Get a bit of a bigger one that time. Tomb Break as well. Then throw out our Harpy Cube. And you're seeing over here. When's the last time you saw Zhangli Yao feel this good in the TOA?
Ordained.
And the question is she better than Yinlin? And the answer is undeniably yes so. And I'm not gonna lie, now that Zhangli Yao has gotten a teammate that just really doesn't suck,
And call that my signature.
he feels like a very, very high-performing DPS. So, yeah, the rumors that I've had before that Zhangli's poor performance seems to be inherently tied to... Zhangli's poor performance is tied to him having to use Yinlin. Yes, I think that's true, because now that we've gotten a sub-DPS who just doesn't have one of the most cursed rotations on the planet, and of course, has her big buffs, and then also has an outro skill that just gives him a lot of damage buffs, and then also more damage buffs over here, and then even more damage buffs over here with that 24% from building up her weapon skill. Yeah, it's a lot. But now you might be wondering, okay, we're using her signature weapon. What about Static Mist? Her signature weapon is clearly strong. It's giving her 24% to the entire team while also giving her all of this damage bonus. Surely, right, on Static Mist, she's gonna feel less good. Now let's just go ahead and see. Same exact team, but with Static Mist. The free-to-play option. Remember, the sub-DPS free-to-play option. Everyone can get it. Very easy to. Alright, let's just see if we can hit that parry again. Alright, we do. Nice.
Astral modulation.
Very good.
Drive safe. Tie a bow and call that my signature.
And let's get the charging going.
Hey, where's the fire?
Variable elimination. All shall reveal
And boom.
itself.
As you can see over here, the damage is almost exactly the same. I actually think that with like an R3 Static Mist and her signature, it does seem to be the same. Like, I cannot actually tell a difference. So my Static Mist is R3, so we are giving about 4% more attack than it usually does at R0. I can't tell a difference in the clears. It's entirely dependent on whether or not you actually, like, crit. Your crit determines whether or not it, it works.
Go over here. One more. Hey, where's it?
Variable elimination. Pierce through the stars.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be honest with you. Yeah, there's a reason why I've been saying on the record you don't need Lynae's signature. This is one of the reasons why.
Reconfiguration. Complete.
Whoopsies. Anyways, you guys get the point. I kind of fucked it up here. It doesn't. The time is basically exactly the same. I kind of messed up. I kind of just got, like, disengaged with the run because I was like, okay, this is literally the same exact thing that we just did. So, yeah, let me go, let me just wrap this one up. Basically, the damage numbers on Zhangli are almost identical. I even bricked the rotation, but the time is, like, almost exactly the same. Yeah, we're gonna probably blow it up over here, and then he's gonna have, like, a little bit of health remaining. But yeah, I kind of did, like, a 10-second time loss there by introing it on Lynae instead of Shorekeeper. But as you can see, I'm just going to be honest, guys. Her signature is more so not really required at all if you do plan on playing her primarily as a sub-DPS. But if you really do want to boost Lynae's damage and buffing ability at the same time, that's what it's for. Because Static Mist doesn't do anything to her damage compared to having actually having her signature. Because her signature gives a lot more active boost to her. So, yeah, I'll just say, you can clearly see this is an extremely strong team. Very strong on Static Mist as well. And yeah, I don't really think there's any additional testing that needs to be done. The Lynae on this team is not doing a tremendous amount of damage. It's a decent amount for sure, but it's not really stuff that's going to like break the bed at all. And when it comes to her on the new standard weapon, basically the idea is that if your Lynae's damage stats are good enough, like mine, to justify losing Static Mist's 15% buff, then it's worth it to go for a more damage-oriented weapon on her. However, if your stats aren't that great on her, you just like have pretty dog shit echoes, just go for Static Mist instead so you focus more on the buffing side of her. The idea over here is that if you run Static Mist, you could have some dog shit echoes. Like I'm just saying, like, you're like not even double crit and stuff. Like, she doesn't even have any damage. You can just run her with Static Mist and no actual real gear and just use her as a primary buffer and she'll still get a decent job done because she just has a lot of buffs tied to her kit. So that's one of the big things over there to keep in mind with her. Now let's test out some of her other, well, really, really high caliber teams. And the first high caliber team that we're of course going to be testing out is going to include Chakona, Lynae, and Iuno. And the reason that you actually run Chakona on this team instead of a Shorekeeper is very simple. Chakona provides a raw 24% arrow damage bonus just from existing. She also has Gusts of Welkin's big arrow bonus as well, like another 15%. And then she also has, if you have her signature, oh dear. Oh no, she shouldn't be using Spectrum Blaster. If you do have her signature, she also has air resistance reduction. That's all stuff that Iuno wants for one reason. Iuno actually has amplification built into her kit. She gains 40% herself. So getting more arrow damage buffs from Chakona and like the arrow res is better than Shorekeeper's amp and her crit buffs. That's actually why you run Chakona Iuno, because Iuno has built-in amp. So that's just like a little bit of like extra, that's like a little bit of just like extra context over there for why Shorekeeper's not being used on this team. But yes, Iuno is a liberation damage dealer as well. And like I mentioned before, she really likes damage bonuses. So that's where the stuff from Lynae really feels strong. That's where this stuff feels really, really, really strong. And then of course, right, she's also got that 2 break boost for the additional attack buffs. You also have the ability to, I guess, use the signature as well. We'll just swap back to the sig for the purposes of this team because we're using sigs on everybody else. Just know that this team's damage is going to be impacted quite a bit more by losing Lynae's sig because Chakona actually deals damage. Shorekeeper kind of doesn't. So yeah. That's going to be one way where you can maximize the value of the weapon more. This gives a 24% all attribute damage buff to your entire team. So if you have 2 teammates that do a decent amount of damage, like Chakona, then you get a lot more benefit out of it that way. So there we go. That's going to be what we got over here. Let's just check out the builds real fast. You can see the Iuno build is diabolically good. The Lynae build again is decent. And the Chakona that we're going to be running is she's going to have a relatively high level of investment as well. All right, let's go ahead. Let's get right on into it. And if you don't have Chakona, just use a Shorekeeper then. Yeah, you'll just play the exact same team that we just did for Zhongliao, but just replace Zhongliao with Iuno. But the main DPS rotations and stuff, they'll be roughly the same. Okay, this is going to be the worst fight in the game. This is going to be the worst fight in the game. Oh, I'm already regretting this.
Perfect wrap-up. Now presenting a poem of finale.
Okay, well,
Drive safe.
sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do when you're against the Sentry Construct, because I don't know how I'm gonna necessarily...
One more. Need a ride, sweetheart? With style and grace. On you go.
Alright, well, Iuno got that hit off. There we go. Well, she got the parry off. We're good. And as you can see, that was kind of a big nuke.
Fate in my mark.
And yeah, we are blowing this fucking guy up.
Thanks for watching. Over time.
This is basically Part of this is this team being very strong. The other part of it is my Iuno having the most probably disgusting build on the server. Yeah, I probably will do more damage with my Iuno than several Iunos with sequence nodes because of how good her build is. So don't read too much into the actual damage numbers because this, I'll show you the substats later. It doesn't get much better than mine. Yeah, that's a pretty big nuke. Yeah, okay. As you can see, that team absolutely fucked, right? And there's a reason why that team absolutely fucked. Like I said before, that's my Iuno. This is the build. That's Echo number 1. That's Echo number 2. That's Echo number 3. That's Echo number 4. And that's Echo number 5. So basically, the entire build is 5 out of 5s or 4 out of 5s. Plus, we got all of the arrow buffing over here. Plus, the TOA stage itself has an arrow resistance reduction. So, just letting you know, your mileage may vary using this team. You probably won't be able to replicate results like mine on like a different TOA floor, also with a different Iuno build, because that's probably the best Iuno build you're ever going to see. Just let that be a reminder, because yes, that clear was absolutely fucking diabolical. We completely destroyed it. It was ridiculous. Probably one of the fastest clears I've ever gotten, and 90% of that is because I did do a lot of grinding for that character. So yeah, that's going to be what it looks like when we're using Lynae's strongest teams. Now, we need to have a bit of a conversation switch following that. A big part of Lynae's strength is actually the fact that she provides a lot of general buffs. She has a 15% all damage amp on her outro skill, and then of course all those general damage buffs on her team. And the big thing about Lynae and why she's rated so highly on tier lists like Pride Wins is the fact that she can actually be a modest improvement for some of the older units on the roster because their sub-DPS teammates are kind of dog shit. That's actually one of the big reasons for why she was able to support Zhang Liao so well. However, it turns out that Lynae's buffs and her rotation time being so short can actually benefit more teammates. And some of the teammates that she can actually benefit, according to some other calculations, actually includes Camellya. So we're just going to go ahead, do a run over here where we substitute Sanhua or Rosia for Camellya. And just kind of like go from there. We'll also be using Lynae on her signature just to see like how strong this ability is. And we'll also make sure, at a baseline, right? Let's just see what the times are looking like. This is just to show how far her sub-DPS potential can go, even outside of her, you know, clear, right, dedicated teams or dedicated people that she's meant to buff.
Loading. Yeah. Iron graft you knew.
So, let's see here.
Diminish.
Drive safe. Shake it up, special delivery. Goes boom.
Oh shit, I messed up. Unique coordinated attacks. Mods, can somebody ban that guy? What do you mean coordinated attacks? This is not fucking Jinxie, bro.
In war with time.
This is not Jinxie. This is fucking Camellya. She don't need shit.
Don't blink.
What do you even mean?
The best part. Check this out. Shake it up. Hey, where's the fire?
Reborn from ancient feed my blossoms.
Here we go.
Self-deceivers. Clipping. Vitality. Sour.
And as you're seeing over here, yeah, we kind of are doing a really good amount of damage. So that's what my Camellya is capable of, utilizing a Lynae. However, our rotation is kind of fucking long because Camellya rotations are longer. So this is, again, it looks like a lot of damage for one rotation. Remember, guys, Camellya kind of has the longest rotations in the game. That's kind of like her thing.
Getting started. Hey, where's the
Bloom from ashen shed. Feed my blossoms. Self-deceivers.
What is that noise, though? Oh, that's the tomb break noise. Bro, it sounds like donk.
Crafting. over.
And there we go. Are we just about enough to 2-rotate it? I think so.
Now from the
Donk.
soul.
Alright, there you go. So yeah, Camellya does get some very strong results with her as well. And as you can see, Camellya also seems like one of those characters that seems to tomb break faster. Maybe units that are able to apply more instances of damage a lot faster can tomb break faster. Because I'm going to be real over here. I felt like that guy got tomb broken like super quick. That's it feels like he got tomb broken really goddamn fast. So, yeah, looks pretty solid to me. Looks pretty solid to me. So that's going to be Lynae's performance when you're utilizing, right, characters that she might not, like, strictly buff. That's the main point. And you can see over here that, yes, part of it is her being incredibly strong, but I think the other part of it is just showing how weak other members of the roster kind of were when Sub-DPS units were inherently created. We have a lot of really bad characters in the game. And I'll show you an example of what I consider to be some of the worst characters in the game at the moment. I think it's easily these three. It's easily these three. Because Lynae has effectively, on all the characters that utilize these units as their best in slot, Lynae is actually better than them. She's better than Jeja with Carlotta. She's better than Rosia with Camellya, and of course she's better than Yinlin with Iuno, but that one was expected. So the issue kind of is that I think that these characters overall, you can see over here, why is it that replacing the sub DPS makes these main DPS units work so much better? Why is that so frequent? Why is that so common? To have the main DPS units, the Jians, the Zhangliaos, the Camelyas, they all feel better when you replace their sub DPS. And that's all you needed to do. And then suddenly they all are better units. It's because these guys are truly the weak links on all of their fucking teams. Genuinely. And when every DPS has a good team now, except Jinxie, because she's a special use case. When every DPS has a better team now, except Jinxie, I'm just gonna be real here. Maybe it's a sub DPS issue. Because every other DPS now has, like, a good team. Camellya has a good team now. Zhangliao has a good team now. Jian has good teams now. Jinxie, nothing. And these characters, nothing. So yeah, I think it's more so a testament to, I think that the current balancing level of the sub DPS units feels a lot better to pretty much every player. I don't think that any player wants sub DPS units to go back down to the power budget level they had in 1.0. I think people all enjoy the new 2.x power levels a lot more. It's just those three are the standouts for just being dog shit. And I hope that kit reworks come in for them soon, because the only use that they have right now are like as straggler units in Double Pawns Matrix, the new endgame. Yeah, like the only use these guys have is to like be like fucking side tower generals at this point. Because good lord, they're just bad, awful units. Now it's time for us to do a little bit of a, well, readjustment over here, right? We have a bit of a situation going on. And that's going to be the next Lynae lineup that we're going to be experimenting with over here. That's going to be Lynae Main DPS. And this is the thing, guys. I've done testing with this. I've been trying to figure the rotation out. I think I've got it covered, but I'm still not sure if it's actually working properly. Because I need to go through kind of like the theory crafting process with you to show what's going on with Lynae when she's a main DPS. So the main reason for why I've been experimenting with Lynae main DPS is very simple. This Sonata set, Rite of Gilded Revelation, looks fucking broken. Spectral damage plus 10% on the 2-piece. Dealing basic attack damage increases spectral damage by 10% for 5 seconds, stacking up to 3 times. So you can see over here, 10% spectral, 30% spectral, and then with 3 stacks, using your liberation grants you a 40% basic attack damage bonus. Guys, that's like 80% damage. 80% damage from the set, plus 36% basic from her weapon, plus 24% as it stacks up. Guys, I was looking at these numbers, and then she gives herself 24% over here too. I was looking at these numbers, and I was like, good lord. Surely this character, when you build her as a DPS on this set, and you're realizing all these damage bonuses, right? Surely it's gonna make her deal a lot more damage. I even got a special 3-cost Echo over here that's gonna give Spectral basic attack damage. right? I got all these things. I got double crit on everything. And unfortunately, I feel like I haven't been able to get great results. However, what we should do is actually just give this a try once again to see whether or not it's somewhat playable. Because I think the main thing is that I'm just expecting a lot more damage with all of those damage buffs available, but it seems like it's not really there. So let's see. It's probably better to discuss this first, because I see people already asking about it. So one thing that we haven't covered, because there's not really a choice right now, are the two form options that Lynae has in the skill menu. You can look up in the top right over here, she basically has two modes. One is going to be Resonance Mode Tune Rupture, where she nukes from off-field whenever an enemy is tune broken, and the other is going to be Tune Strained. So when you're in Tune Strained mode, essentially, the more Tune Strained characters you have on your team, the more damage every character does to the enemy. Lynae's the only character on this team that's going to have that. And until Mornier comes out, she will still be the only character that has it. So the end result is that I don't think it's actually a good idea to use the Tune Strained mode that much, because you need other teammates with Tune Strained to fully capitalize from its benefits. So I kind of just focus more on using like this off-field nuke instead. This 1880 whatever percent tune amp. I don't even know what the fuck that is, to be honest. I don't even know like how you even get the damage of this. But yeah, that's what we're looking at over there. So we're gonna be starting this out on this mode because once again, if you don't have the other teammates, I don't really see the point in using the one that scales based off of the number of teammates that you have. But when Mornier comes out, where Mornier can add onto the Tune Strain stacks, it's gonna make a bit more sense. All right, but yeah, for now, we're going to be running this lineup featuring a Sanhua, and the Sanhua's gear is just going to be some very, very traditional stuff. We're just going to be running a naked Sanhua build with her on Overture and just a Moonlit Cloud set. So she isn't going to be doing that much damage over here. All right, let's get this going. All right.
Stay calm. Perish.
Like shackles be gone.
Here we go.
In war with time. Loading.
And now we're going to go on to Lynae, use two basics, then do our charge attack, right?
You stay back.
And then go back over here. And now we're going to liberate. And now we're going to jump, jump, jump attack to get our final jump. And then do more basic attacks.
I'm just getting started.
And then jump, jump, final jump, and then boom. So you can clearly see over here,
From the heart.
you expect this to do a lot more damage, but it's not dealing like any fucking damage. And the thing that I'm surprised by is, how does this character do pretty much like fucking nothing as a main DPS?
Like
Even with a set that's giving that much of a damage bonus. And I've come to a realization. This set is actually entirely just for her when she's getting sequence nodes. I don't see any other reason why you would use the set then, because Lynae clearly gets a lot more damage multiplier increases as you get her sequence nodes, right? And I think the idea is that this set was just added in when you wanted to go like up to her S3. Because you can see over here, damage multipliers are increasing like crazy. Each stack of Premix Hue increases the Spectro damage bonus by 55%, 25 max stacks. I think that's all it is. This is a, like, S6. This is like a whale-tailored Sonata set. Yeah, I don't know what else it's supposed to be, because unless they're planning on releasing a character, maybe the next unit's gonna be another Spectro basic attacker. It just doesn't really make a lot of sense for them to release another Spectro basic attacker when they just added one in 3.0. But who knows? Maybe, what's his name? Luke Herson is gonna be a Spectro basic attacker that uses this set. That could entirely be a thing. In that case, I'm not even mad that I pre-farmed it then, I guess. I'd be happy if this is used on somebody else, because right now, this shit is goddamn fucking useless. Unless I'm gonna pull Lynae sequence nodes. Yeah, so, again, I think this set, at least in the vacuum that he exists in right now, it's literally just to be used if you have multiple sequence nodes. So you can take the fact that I decided to farm this and try it out as a bit of a testament to, it's not really worth it unless you're gonna have Lynae's Sig, and probably up to her S3. Otherwise, I don't know what the fuck you're even gonna do with this, because doing that much damage in one rotation is some of the most pathetic shit I've ever seen. And once again, right, it's not like her build is bad. It's not like her build is bad, right? It's not like anything is, like, awful over here. It's just that, yeah, I don't like, again, it's like, I assumed it was gonna be, like, this thing has got, like, a 1,200% motion value. She's having, like, 80% damage on it. Or, like 400% damage bonuses. Chances are, maybe her damage output is bugged when she's a main DPS. Maybe she doesn't benefit from outro skills. I don't know, bro. But the thing is, I'm just surprised that I went in, did a full rotation, and it did 1/4 of that guy's HP. I genuinely think even Rosia does more damage. Like, if you were to do a dedicated main DPS Rosia rotation, I feel like it would do more damage. That just, 1/4 of his HP in one rotation. I guess the thing is, I'm surprised that she's even able, like, I guess the most polarizing thing to me, oh, part of the set doesn't work? Could that be it? Could it be that the set is just bugged and it doesn't work?
Got a long bucket list.
Because as far as I'm concerned, right, the idea... Hey, fuck it. Hey, maybe we'll just check it out real fast. Maybe we'll do a little bit of bug discovery today. Maybe we'll do a little bit of bug discovery today because the damage looked so awful, it doesn't even look like it's real. The damage is so bad, it looks like it's bugged. Is that fair to say? The damage was so bad, it looks like the set isn't working. Can we all agree on that from the rotation that we did, the stats, the investment that we have? That doesn't even look real. 1/4 of his HP with that much investment? I genuinely think like anybody else could do better. So let's just see, right? Because this set, what it does, and we're just gonna do some bug testing real fast because I can't trust Kuro's QA anymore, especially after Chuyon's release. Bro had like 17 bug fixes post. This set's supposed to give 80% damage bonus total. If we use a liberation with 3 stacks of the 10% Spectro, let's just see it over here. I want to see if the 10% Spectro builds up. So we gotta have the stat menu open over here. If I basic attack 3 times, I expect to have 112%. Let's just see it.
Huh? I heard something.
Let's just see.
Got a long bucket list.
Okay, 112%. And so if I use my liberation here, I should get an additional 40% basic, so I should go to 113. I should go to 113 then, right? After pressing R. Because I got the 3 stacks. Oh, I don't have it! I don't have my liberation! Fuck! Surely I got like some food that gives me liberation energy, right? Yeah, let's dodge, boys. Let's dodge. Okay. Alright, hit me. I'm gonna dodge real fast, gain some energy. Dude, wait, these guys are fucking undodgeable.
I'm just getting started.
Alright, I just need to fucking spark some energy real fast. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe.
Next up.
Alright, let's go to a hologram real fast. Yeah, let's go to a hologram real fast. That'll get us. Let's go to a hologram real fast. That'll give us everything we need. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Those goalposts, their attacks were not seeable in the water. I don't even think you guys could have dodged that. I don't think you guys could have dodged that one. That shit was crazy.
Watch the corner.
All right, so that's gonna be. Let's just look over here. We got the Spectro damage bonus. We have the 36% from a signature. If I press R, I want to see 113.8.
Don't blink. You'll miss the best part. Got a long bucket list. Good thing I've got time to check every box.
Oh, yeah, her DPS set just doesn't work. Oh, that's what the... Oh, it just doesn't... Oh, so it went through all of this QA, and nobody tested out this set a single time. So, Wuthering Waves 3.0 was in Q&A for X number of days, and not a single beta tester looked to see if Rite of Gilded Revelation even worked. Nobody even looked to see if its trigger conditions activated and if it provided its full fucking bonus. Because it doesn't. How useless are Kuro's beta testers, where they add a new fucking Sonata set to the game and nobody tests to see if it works? In over 30 days of testing, not a single person on the server even checked to see if this thing fucking worked. I'm in awe. I'm fucking disgusted. I'm literally disgusted. Because now I'm over here potentially thinking Lynae Main DPS is the worst fucking thing I've ever seen in the game. No, it's not. It's just that I'm not even getting. I'm losing half of the Sonata set's bonus. Guys, this thing's bonus is 80% basic attack damage, essentially. And you're missing half of it. It's supposed to be an 80% bonus, but you only get 40. I'm in awe. Alright. I think it's pretty clear what's going on when it comes to Lynae at the start of version 3.0. I can't really make a final judgment on her when it comes to her main DPS performance. As we saw, there seems to be some sort of issue going on with like Kuro's Q&A, especially when it comes to like certain units where beta testers are just refusing to actually test these characters at all, and they're just going ahead and releasing them in a completely fucked up state. I don't know how two units in a row, like Chuyan and her, are releasing with so many fucking bugs to the point where playstyles that they're supposed to release with literally cannot be used. Because you could not play Chuyan main DPS on release because it was so bugged. Now, you can, and it's viable after bug fixes. You cannot play Lynae main DPS on release because half of her Sonata set doesn't work. I don't even know what to say at this point. But, yeah. I've already said it. I've been saying it since version 2.5. You need to replace your entire beta team. You need to, like, verify, look, and see who the fuck is not doing their job and how you're able to allow for shit like this. Shit like this to get through the cracks. Because how hard is it to make a Sonata set work properly? Or how hard is it to test a Sonata set a single time and see if it works? This is embarrassing. Anyways, that's enough negativity for now, unfortunately, but I still think it's a very, very major issue that we need to take the time to talk about. Let me just give my final judgments on Lynae as a character. Like I said before, I can't judge her main DPS potential, so all I'll be saying is based off of her sub-DPS potential, then I'll give a bonus regarding her main DPS potential. As a sub-DPS, Lynae is an incredible pull, yes. You saw over here, especially with that Camellya team demonstration, she can uplift a lot of the underperforming DPSs on the roster. However, there is also a catch to that. If you don't have any of the older DPSs because you're somebody that started in 2.0 or something like that, I don't actually think Lynae is a very high value pull for you. Because one of her main strengths is her ability to like help older units. And so if all you have is newer units, right? You got like Galbraith, Chuyan, Iuno, Augusta, Frolova, Lupa, Cartithia, Chakotay. She kind of doesn't feel that useful in comparison. Yeah, she does work well with Iuno, that is true, but that's kind of like the only modern character that she seems to really work well with, right? And Iuno main DPS has the incredible weakness of being one of the worst multi-wave, multi-AoE target characters in the game, where Iuno is exclusively a TOA unit. Exclusively a TOA unit. You don't really want to use her in Wiwa as a main DPS. She's kind of fucking dog shit. And that's actually one of the reasons for why Lynae isn't that high on Wiwa rankings, is because Iuno is so bad. Lynae's actually better in Wiwa because of Zhangli Yao. I'm not even joking. Zhangli Yao is why she's considered okay in Wiwa, because she can really work with that guy and also Camellya. So that's kind of the thing. Zhangli Yao and Camellya are already great Wiwa characters, so I don't feel the need to test her there. She just makes their existing teams better, and they both already clear. The TOA was where like the main issue was, because those units were struggling a bit in the TOA, but not in Wiwa. So I would just say overall, as a character, if you're looking to build out more 3.0 teams, she's a safe pick to have because of how she interacts with all of those tune mechanics. And like I said before, tune strained gets better the more tune teammates you have on your team. So you kind of are influenced to get more of them to be if this is the archetype that you want to work with. And Lynae's the only character that can apply it. So that's kind of like the future value that she has that unfortunately we can't see right now because we don't know who's going to release in 3.1 or 3.2. For example, if 3.1 is all negative status units because this piece of shit needs
Scissors at the
characters
ready.
to work with, then Lynae is not going to be a high value pull in 3.1 because there's no
thing
new
I've got
tuned
time to
characters
check
coming
every
out with her.
box.
On the other hand,
Scissor.
if a shit
Got
ton
a
of tuned characters come out in
long bucket
3.2, then suddenly you're like, oh
Good
damn,
thing
I really
I've
wish I
got
had
time to
Lynae
check
to
every
have
box.
all those statuses that I can inflict, right? The tune shifting and stuff like that. So, from that perspective, she's got a lot of value, right, as a future pick. In the present, though, unless you have, like, teammates that she's going to work with, she's not necessarily going to add a lot to your account. Like, if all you have, like, she's not going to help your Ferlova. She's not going to help your Cartithia. She's not going to help your Lupa.
No one.
Not going to help your Zani, right? There's a lot of teammates that she does functionally nothing for. Just have teammates that she works with if you do plan on pulling her and getting value out of her in the present. Because unfortunately, because of how fucking
Got a
bugged she is
long
when it comes to her
bucket list.
goddamn main DPS set,
I've got
I
time
can't
to check
actually
every
give you the
box.
full value on her character. Because if this worked, and I was able to test it, and it was actually good, and it cleared, then we would have no issues. Then I could say that she's a dual-purpose unit, where if you want to pull her for a future sub-DPS potential, go for it, because then she can also be a main DPS in the present. But right now, I can't actually test it out because the set literally doesn't work properly. So it's a little bit annoying. Let me give you two scenarios. If her main DPS set actually works on her, following its bug fixes, and she's viable, she suddenly now is one of the best units in the game. Because now you can use her as a main DPS and then switch her whenever you actually want to fill in the sub-DPS role. However, if she's still dog shit as a main DPS following the bug fixes, then we'll just have like a situation where she's mainly just like a sub-DPS character that, again, has main DPS capabilities with more sequence nodes. Much like a Chuyan before his bug fixes. However, Kuro has a literal track record for bug fixing units and making them just feel less dog shit as main DPSs based off of feedback. So that might be something that they do with her as well. Because in the present, in her current state, she's just a sub DPS that has that future potential. And if the main DPS results don't get changed at all, that's really all she's going to be. Because there's no potential there at all if you're doing 1/4 of the boss's HP in one rotation. So yeah, that's going to be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see over here, I'm a little bit mixed on my first impressions video over here because I don't think I've ever had a release that felt this buggy ever before. At least with Chuyan, it was like I could like get off, like at least like the echo sets fucking worked. Actually, no, I think Chuyan's echo set didn't work either. So yeah, I think Law of Harmony was also fucking bugged too. And like half its shit didn't activate as well. So yeah, kind of just more, it's just a repeat of what we already saw in version 2.7. And all I have to say is I'm very disappointed to see something like this happen again. That'll be it for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know what you all thought about it. Peace out.